Ayo, greetings from Cybertron, capisce? Oh god, no. Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Power of the Primes Leader Class Rodimus Unicronus. Yes, awesome. Wave 2 is already showing up. It's February. This isn't supposed to come out till April, but I already have a Leader Class Wave 2 figure in my possession. Admittedly, I went to hunt the other Wave 2 figures. I was really hoping to get the Voyagers or the Legends, but you know what? This is really nice. This is really cool, and I'm really happy that I'm going to be able to review this right now. But before we get into the review proper, a bit of backstory since this character definitely needs it. So, Rodimus Unicronus is quote-unquote a new character, even though he's a dark-colored hot rod, or Rodimus Prime. But he has substantial inspiration from the Shattered Glass universe, which is Fun Publications, who held the Transformers license for use for conventions, an original universe and original story created by them about how the Decepticons are the good guys and the Autobots are the bad guys. And Hot Rod, or Rodimus, got a nice black and purple color scheme and would have had purple Autobot symbols. Original promo images and some early in-hand samples did show purple Autobot symbols instead of the regular Decepticon symbols upon Rodimus Unicronus' chassis. But this is what we got. But you know what? This is fine. I am quite pleased with how this toy looks, regardless of the fact if I'd prefer, you know, the purple Autobot stickers or symbols to properly homage the Shattered Glass version. But let's get a closer look into this figure. And speaking of stickers, he does have stickers, just like Hot Rod did. His purple flames up here, which do look pretty cool. If I can get the light not to glare on that, do look pretty cool. They're a little more spikier than Rodimus's flame decals, which is a little interesting, and then a nice purple color. But they are still stickers, so they are still on appeal. You got sticker Decepticon symbols right there. And on the opposite side, they don't look too bad. Besides some stuff on the legs of both the Hot Rod and Rodimus, and a little bit on the shoulders right there. That's pretty much all the stickers on this guy, which is very nice, especially since the stickers have been kind of crappy recently, especially on Starscream. This detail right here, that's entirely a tampograph, and that looks so good. Why couldn't they done that for this section right here? That would have made that so much better. But that looks very nice right there. And speaking of the front of the car mode, we got a very nice solid black going up through most of the car mode. And then for the rest of the trailer as well, you got some nice whitish grayish kind of headlights going on in the front there. I mentioned the chest, what is the hood details with the nice Decepticon symbol right there, and a silver section for what would be the engine. And you can see the translucent red windscreen going on there, which we'll take a closer look at once we get into the Hot Rod's car form. We got some nice silver pipes, I should say Nemesis Hot Rod. We got some nice silver pipes going on along here. There's a little bit of purple paint going on at the front there. Top is pretty much all black except for that molded gray bit. Sides are pretty much all black except for the stickers, and this tiny section of purple right here, which I never noticed on the Hot Rod one because it kind of just blended into everything else since it was painted the same as these panels, but this sticks out. And this section actually is like made of is the same kind of stuff that I mentioned on the Soundwaves, the Silence Return Soundwave review, which I put out last week. And it's made out of that, like texture is the exact same as like his speakers, and like it feels so good. It's just so nice, and it's so nice that they brought it out with that purple. It's just, oh, that's so good. Anyway, and then there's just some nice detailing going on the sides for panels and stuff. You got some giant feet sticking out of the back that are just weird blocks sticking out of the back. Don't know what they're supposed to be, but they're just sticking out there. And if the heels and the robot heels were black instead of this light gray, that may have just hidden better. But I don't know. And then I already kind of showed off the underside a bit, so you can see there's stuff. There's Hot Rod. There's Hot Rod. Nemesis Hot Rod's body. Yeah. Overall, very solid vehicle mode. I really dig it. There's still garbage going on there, but these wings don't match up with this big triangle section right here. But hey, you know what? I can live it. Also, there's a bit of white going on there. A bit of white paint, like gray white paint. I think I had to paint a fence in that exact color once, and I think they called it Onyx white. So whatever you want to do, Onyx gray, I believe, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, very off-white gray color going on there as well. Not a whole lot of color to break up Rodimus Unicron on the sides. That's his name from the Time's Return show, which actually is something good that they made in that show, I think, maybe. But I think there could have been a little bit more color going on around these sections here. Admittedly, the top probably could use a little bit. Obviously, would have not been completely necessary since it's the top. But the front looks very nice. These stickers, if they weren't stickers, they'd be really nice going on. Just a little bit more purple on the side, and I think that would have made the vehicle mode pop. But overall, it is still a very nice vehicle mode. And I gotta say, I was completely right in my Rodimus Prime review. This looks so much better now that the colors for the car and the trailer are matched together. This feels much more like it's supposed to be one vehicle rather than it's something that's not supposed to be on there, like with Rodimus Prime. I'll bring that toy in a moment to show you the comparison. But I do want to say I think I like this a fair bit more just because of the colors than the Rodimus Prime version. Especially in the car mode, but also a bit in the robot mode. Besides that, he does have 6 wheels. They all are able to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them roll very nicely on the ground. For his accessories, he comes with these 2 guns. They are the same guns that came with Rodimus, and they are able to combine into one large gun for the combined form. And here's Rodimus Prime's guns. They're basically the same. I could interchange them and you wouldn't have been able to tell that I switched them between the 2 molds. They're cast in the exact same black plastic, so that you just have 2 copies. So I guess if you want one of them to be dual wielding these, you can totally do that if you want. But these are the ones that actually came with this Rodimus mold. There are 2 5mm ports on there, and there are 2 5mm ports on the top here. So you can stick the guns in up there. They are not going to be able to fit on top in the combined form just because the peg on the front one will get in the way. But you can weapon up Rodimus Unicronus a little bit. There's no other place for them to go, so that's the only place. Also, he comes with his own matrix, as do all the class figures. This is his Matrix of Chaos. It is gray. It's got a gray border, and it's got the translucent red plastic painted black with a little bit of purple, and it is glowing. It can glow, as you can see. That looks creepy as all. That looks like blood, like someone bleeding like profusely out of that matrix. Unfortunately, the light doesn't make the red core all too apparent, but it is a very, very nice touch. You can detach the matrix core, and the matrix core can be placed into Deluxe and Voyager Prime armor pieces. And also it has the same connector point that can be used for the Titan's Return, Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader figures. So you can have crazy fun stuff. You can place this on someone. You just have a circle bleeding face on their bodies if you want. This is also interchangeable. Unfortunately, while this can store in Rodimus Unicronus, you cannot access the storage place while Rodimus Unicronus is in vehicle mode. So I will be showing off where it goes into Rodimus Unicronus when we get to the robot mode. And here's a quick comparison. This is Hot Rod, or Rodimus Prime's matrix. You can see the differences in colors going on there. Ooh, I did forget to mention one thing. As with all the other Times Return figures, he comes with a collector's card. Rodimus Unicronus, this is his artwork. It's Rodimus Unicronus. There's his Decepticon symbol. This is a Liege Maximo card. So that means he is Rodimus Liege Maximo Unicronus. That's a mouthful. That's definitely a mouthful. I understand they need to differentiate it from regular Rodimus, but Rodimus Liege Maximo Unicronus. Could I have gone a more wordy bio card title? I don't know, but this one, when Rodimus Unicronus is connected with Liege Maximo, he spreads dark prophecies to destroy the will of bots. That's kind of ominous. That's pretty ominous, but that's all there is to the collector card. And one interactivity feature I almost forgot to mention. There are 2 Prime Master posts on Rodimus, and here's actually Liege Maximo in my hands. So you just stick Prime Master or a Titan Master into those ports, and they are able to stand on Rodimus's vehicle mode. So that is very, very nice. That's all there is to. That's all. That's pretty much all there is on the Rodimus Unicronus vehicle mode. So let's get into some size comparisons. So here he is with Legends class Bumblebee, and I gotta raise the camera up for this bit so you can see how they scale. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. You can see how that scales. Voyager class Megatron. You can see how that scales. And Leader class 6-shot. And you can see how that scales. And like I mentioned before, here is Rodimus Prime for comparison. They are obviously the same size. They got the same paint apps on top. They got similar, you can see how their hoods look. You can see how the sides look right there, how the gaps look, how the stickers compare to their placement of stickers compares. You can see differences in the sides with both of them having that very nice specially molded surface that just feels so nice. And you can see the undersides of both of them. It's gonna be hard to get all of that on camera, but there you go. Yeah, and again, black on black, better than red on, whoops, that was a little too high. Black on black is better than the red on maroon going on with Rodimus. This just feels so much more cohesive than that does, honestly. So that definitely, for the alt mode, that one wins. But that is all we have to say on Rodimus Unicronus' vehicle mode. So now let's get him into Nemesis Hot Rod's vehicle mode. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these smokestacks. By the way, when I was doing the Rodimus Prime review, I somehow mistransformed it. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but you are able to get this precisely flush with all the panels. I don't know why I couldn't get it in that one, and didn't even particularly realize that it was truly capable of getting to that position, but it is. So you just gotta untab and rotate those pipes up. Untab, rotate those pipes up. Untab this panel and fold it back. Untab this panel and fold it back, and you just drop the hot rod, the Nemesis hot rod, right out. This tab will go into that slot right there, and those tabs right there and there will go into the slots right there and there for that to all connect with this hole fitting that tab there, and a similar hole and slots on the other sides also tabbing together to hold all of that into place. So then this trailer can just go off to the side right now, and then we gotta complete the vehicle mode. So we're just gonna fold this panel out, flip it out and around, fold it out, flip it out and around, and there you have Nemesis Hot Rod in his vehicle mode. And it's alright. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I actually pretty much like it about as much as the Hot Rod vehicle mode. Just the vehicle mode. One thing I would definitely have preferred, this have been in gray. I mean black. This just not be in the gray, be in the black. If you're gonna do this, at least paint that silver to like make it match the smoke pipes. If that was painted silver or black, I wouldn't care. Actually, the silver might look a little more violent for him, so that might have worked better. But this flat gray, just that could have been better. But besides that, you see all the front here is pretty much what you saw in the Rodimus Unicronus mode. You get a clear look at that translucent red cockpit going on there. It looks very malicious. You got his gray spoiler with all that nice detailing going on. The rest of the car mode is pretty much solid black. You got a little bit of gap going on back here. But that's how it worked with Hot Rod. You got the underside of the car mode, and you pretty much see how Nemesis Hot Rod is going to transform. And yeah, he can roll. He can't hold any of his accessories or his weapons, and there's no place for Titan Masters to interact with him. So, now let's get on to size comparisons for Nemesis Hot Rod's vehicle mode. Here it is with Legends Class Bumblebee. And you can see how they scale. Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. You can see how they scale. Voyager Class Megatron. And you can see how they scale. And Megatron's just a hair longer than Nemesis Hot Rod right there. And they're actually about the same width. So yeah, this is very solid Voyager-ish sized car mode. And your Class 6 shot. Let's get that more even. And you can see how they scale. And then we also got regular Hot Rod here as well, just for a comparison to look at the differences between their alternate modes. Yeah, I think they're both pretty fine in this configuration. Still very boxy shapes, but I don't know why I think it works better for him than Hot Rod. Just a little bit, but they're, in terms of the colors, I think they're both fine, though Hot Rod does have a couple bonus points for making that red and just match the vehicle. Though then again, he also loses a point because there's some maroon going on, maroon instead of red going on, so his alt mode is not perfect, but in terms of the colors, but you know, overall, I think they basically even out in this configuration. But that's all there is to say on Nemesis Hot Rod in his vehicle mode. So now let's roll right along to his robot mode. So in order to get there, we are going to untab the arms. We're going to untab the arms. We're going to flip the pipes back up to his forearms, flip them up to his forearms. We are going to untab. We're going to untab from these two tabs right there that go into two slots on the legs. I'm going to untab that from the other side. I'm going to fold this panel out, flip the foot out, collapse the panel down. Fold this panel out, flip the foot out, collapse the panel down. And we're going to rotate this entire assembly around, and there's going to be this tab going into that slot right there to hold that onto his back. Then we're going to come down, fold down his chest, pull the entire section with the bumper up, rotate it around 180, fold it back down, collapse that panel back in, and now you have Nemesis Hot Rod in his robot mode, and holy crap does it look good. Also, you can untab the shoulder, the elbows. Those tab in very securely into the body. So yeah, definitely be sure to untab them to get into articulation. It looks so pretty. Just the accents of purple just make it pop, just pop, poof. Like, oh goodness, I understand why you love Skywarp in these colors, because damn, these colors are so good. Ooh, ha, ha. For the head sculpt, you got a very nice gray-white painted face going on, red beady eyes, and a predominantly black helmet with some nice purple. Like, it feels like a metallic I don't know why on the helmet it feels like kind of like a metallic-y silver, and that just so pretty. So pretty. I wish my lights could capture this better. I hope it captures well enough for you. A little bit silver up here, a couple of stickers right there. You got the pipes on the arms, you got a bit of light gray there, light gray on the forearms and for the fists. You come down to the crotch, there's a little bit of silver there, that's just gray molded stuff, black. And this fake windscreen, which is part of the character models, for the cartoon is painted purple, which looks nice. Technically it should be red, but I do not care because that just makes this so just fit and just gives it just a little bit more purple just to make it look great. Just great. Upper thighs are molded gray plastic. Lower legs are predominantly black. Only color on them is these stickers. Pretty much feet are black. And there's the backpack. You pretty much know what the backpack looks like. For articulation, his head cannot rotate a full 360. His chin basically stops him with is caught by the collars on the sides of him, so he cannot rotate a full 360. But the arms are able to rotate a full 360 degrees if you are able to rotate them past his spoiler in the back. The arms are able to bend that far out due to a hinge in the main body. There is a ball joint at the elbow allowing for a 360-degree rotation, and a double bend at that ball joint and then at this hinge right here, so it's two 90-degree bends basically. Nothing at the wrists, unfortunately. This skirt panel can fold up, so the legs can bend that far forward and only that far back because he's got so much back stuff, but he does have a very nice spread out to the side. There is a thigh swivel allowing 360 degrees of rotation, a knee bend allowing just shy of 90 degrees of bend, and then a foot that is able to bend that far back and that far forward. And yes, and he can hold his weapons in his robot mode fists. Like so. And like so. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no way for Hot Rod to hold the Matrix, whether in his chest or in his hands, which is really, really a shame. That's really a shame. And again, no Titan Master interactivity or Prime Master interactivity with him in this configuration. So that's all for the Hot Rod, the Nemesis Hot Rod body. So let's get into some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends class Bumblebee. He basically comes up to his waist, or way up to half of his lower arm. That's a little awkward. Here he is with, whoopsies, Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And you can see that Chrome Dome is basically a head shorter than Hot Rod. Well, more than a head shorter than Hot Rod, just a little bit more than a head shorter. We got Voyager class Megatron, and Hot Rod, Nemesis Hot Rod is definitely a full head shorter than Megatron. We've got Leader class 6-shot, and you can see Nemesis Hot Rod comes up to like the bottom of those like black circles on 6-shot's chest. Gotta raise the camera up a little bit. Yeah. And then here he is next to the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. So you can see how he looks next to them. And then, of course, comparison with regular Hot Rod. And you can see all the differences. Hot Rod's arrow stickers on his shoulders go up. Nemesis Hot Rods go down. If the glare isn't in the way too much. Chests are basically the same as the roof. Again, the difference between painted and unpainted lower crotch sections, arms are the same. Stickers again on the lower legs, up and then down between them. That's a nice touch. I think that's a very nice touch, but this head just pops so much more just with that purple paint as opposed to this just silver crest. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. And of course, the backs are basically their vehicle modes. But that is all there is to say on Nemesis Hot Rod in his robot mode. So now it's time for him to become Rodimus Unicronus. So in order to get Nemesis Hot Rod into that configuration, we are going to fold this down. We are going to rotate, pull this back up, and rotate it around, having the bumper sticking out. We're going to fold these arms in, and have them tab into the bumper. And we're going to fold these arms up and bend them at a 360-degree angle. Then we'll come around, fold the legs out like that with his beautiful spread, fold the foot in, and collapse the panel. Open, collapse foot, close panel. Then we're going to come, we'll untab this. We're going to split this in half right here. There's two tabs that are holding that in place. And fold that down, and there we see the Rodimus Unicronus head. We'll rotate this around full 360 and flip that up. We'll come over here, rotate that around like so, and fold that up. Rotate this around at the knee, fold that up, and there is all you need to do for Nemesis Hot Rod to get him to Rodimus Unicronus mode. So we'll just put him off to the side for the time being and get the trailer into the proper position. So we're going to come back here. We're going to untab what will become the feet from the back of the trailer. We'll come and actually we got to pull these out a little bit and then pull up, and then they don't really tab in together all that greatly. They just kind of tab in to hold together, but you take these off and you flip these panels up, flip these panels up, and those are good, so you can put those off to the side. And then we come back here and we'll untab. We got untab the legs from here, these tabs into those slots right there. That's going to be hard to see because you gotta look for a dark indent on a black figure, but it's going to be there. It's pretty straightforward. You can untab those for now. Come back here, untab and fold those sections out, and then we're gonna flip this up, and these holes, these tabs, these circles right here will go into those holes right there to tab that into place. And we can come here, rotate the legs down. I already untabbed the legs, and flip the heels out, and then we just collapse that section back down. You can rotate that crest down and flip the crotch down. I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to raise the camera since this is a leader figure, so he's a taller boy. And then we are going to take the arms and tab them into these sections right here. These will grasp tabs that are inside there. So, like so. Do the same on the other side, like so. And then we're going to just basically put this all on. There's slots and grooves for the back of this to fall into. This will tab into the bottom of Hot Rod's crotch right there. I'm gonna get all of that sorted, adjust it. You're just gonna hear it go, and it's just gonna be there. And you can fix these by getting these kind of locked into place. Kind of fold those back into place. It's a little hard to see because of the arms being weird, but I'll get into that in a moment. But that all kind of fits together. And there you have Rodimus Unicronus in his robot mode. And holy crap, what a different paint job can do to a figure. This guy looks freaking amazing. I mean, it's not complete, just a flat new paint job. He also has a very nice new head based on that shattered glass design. He didn't have the shades, but he did have the sweet mustache goatee combo going on, like evil Dr. Spock, evil Spock from Star Trek episode Mirror Mirror, which was where Shattered Glass is based on from, of course. But taking a look at that new head sculpt, just look at that. Look at that thing of beauty. It's the same grayish white paint going on that face, black, picking out that facial hair, the nice bright red visor, that same purple paint which feels metallic on the helmet again. Maybe it's just how the light's playing off of it, but it feels so nice. And a bit of black and black for the rest of the helmet, though I do note there's a little bit of red on mine right there. I don't know why that's there or how that got there, but it's there. That's just a very, very minor thing. His chest is the car mode's front, so that's kind of old news, but still looks really good. Coming down here, you got the black crotch panel with some purple paint on it, which is very nice. Which is very, very nice. Done. The arms are solid black, pretty much. Bit of silver paint up here. Very small stickers going on there, and a little bit of that off-white gray paint going on there, but with purely black fists. The silver smokestacks make up his forearms. He's got a little bit of a panel going on back there, but you got this Decepticon symbol from his alternate mode hanging out there. Upper legs are gray. Lower legs are solid black. If it weren't for that sticker right there that has Rodimus on there, so he's got his name on his kneecaps. Okay, Rodimus Unicronus. You got a couple more stickers there. A little bit of purple paint going on there, which again looks so nice. And then again, the sides are black, the back is black, and the only other gray piece are the heels. And then you got all of that sitting on there for the backpack. Again, unwieldy a little bit, but I don't know, it's acceptable for what it has to do. What's not acceptable are his shoulders, however, but we'll get into that right now, actually, just after we talk about his head articulation. His head articulation, unfortunately, is about as limited as Nemesis Hot Rod's. It's these little shoulder cuff, not shoulder, like collar things get in the way of his chin, so he cannot get his head to go the full way, and it's just on a swivel, so it's just limited. The shoulders are able to rotate a full 360, so because the arms are a ball joint, if you want the arms to like rotate properly, you gotta kind of hold this section down, and for the arms bending out, they bend out that far using Nemesis Hot Rod's hips, and nothing here, and that infuriates me. So they could have done something here that allowed that to rotate out, and then if you wanted more, you could use that. But this would have made this is such an amazing figure. I could love this figure so much more if those shoulders were fixed. Even a paint job can't fix that. But anyway, going back to the articulation, there is a swivel here that allows him to rotate his arms at 360 degrees, as well as an elbow bend that gives him slightly greater than 90 degrees of bend, as well as a kind of a tight wrist swivel. Nothing else at the hands, nothing at the waist. This skirt panel, however, can fold up, so his legs can bend that far forward, only that far back due to his giant backpack, only that far out because there's a little bit of black plastic molded specifically there that prevents his legs from going out all the way. Sorry, yeah, this is how far it can go, and this little bit right here gets in the way. Rotates 360 degrees at the thigh. Knees able to bend at a solid 90-degree angle. Heel can bend in and out a little bit, but the feet is able to rotate that far forward and that far back. And there is also a pretty solid ankle tilt right there. Pretty solid, definitely very solid. It's all you really need in terms of ankle tilt. And you can get some nice spread poses out of him, though arm poses are gonna kind of suck because of those shoulders. Unfortunately, if they were fixed, that'd be so much better. Now that he's in his robot mode, now I can show off how the Matrix of Chaos combines with him. So you're gonna basically untab half of hot rod from the upper body, so as this entire front can open, there is this gap that can fit the Matrix of Chaos. Inside, it can fit any and all matrices inside there, and just collapses in like so, and then you'll know everything's closed when you... I didn't hear the tabs, but they tabbed in because this is locked solid now. The chest tabbing in is very tight. Definitely very tight on that. And of course, he is able to hold his weapons in his robot mode. Of course, it's a combined rifle, so that is the weapon that he's going to hold in his robot form. He's a little back heavy, and his knees could be a little stronger, as well as the tilts at his ankles, so he does fall backwards a little bit. But I think, but Rodimus Prime also had that same problem, so so you just gotta be aware of that being a thing. And back to the gun though. Unfortunately, there's nowhere for him to store it on his body, so he's either holding it in his hands or he just doesn't have it. So that is all there is to say on Rodimus Unicronus. So now let's get into some robot mode size comparisons for him. Here he is with Legends class Bumblebee. You can see that comes up to his knee. We got Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And you can see Chrome Dome comes up to just about his waist. Voyager class Megatron. And Megatron basically just comes up to just a little bit above that silver bit on Rodimus Unicronus' chest. We have Leader class 6-shot, and 6 shots a little bit taller at the head and definitely a lot taller at the wings. Here he is with the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack, so you can see how he looks next to them. And of course, with Rodimus Prime. So you can see the differences between them in their two robot modes. Again, most of the differences are just the paint applications, some of the stickers, and most notably the head molds, which, take a closer look at those heads right there. Those chests, those arms, those legs, those crotches, and those backpacks. Yeah. So, overall, if you are only going to get one of the two versions of this mold, this is the mold you should definitely get. This color pops. It meshes so well for both the combined robot and the full vehicle mode, with the trailer and the hot rod body matching colors. It makes it so much better. One of the main complaints I had with Rodimus Prime is gone. Shoulders are still a problem, so that can't be fixed with paint. That would have just had to have been a completely new tooling from the onset. If that was different, this would be such an amazing figure. It's just a really great figure because it has that shoulder problem, but you know, it still looks great. Really great homage that Hasbro is doing right now, and I wouldn't say I'm in love, but I say I very much appreciate this toy, and I'm very glad I picked it up. So I think you should too if you are interested in this in any way, shape, or form. But that is all I have to say on Rodimus Unicronus. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack's signing off.